Good morning to all of you, and welcome to this, the 75th Republic Day of our nation. Recently, when I was thinking about what thought I should share with you this morning, my mind wandered to the many inspirational people we are familiar with, that we all hear about and read about, and whose lives have and continue to serve as a source of inspiration to us and for generations to come. We all need heroes and inspirational figures in our lives so that we can look up to them and try and follow their footsteps. As someone wisely said, and I quote, "A measure of a man's character is not what he gets from his ancestors, but what he leaves his descendants." To drive home this simple thought this morning, which I want you to carry home with you, I thought I would share with you a very small story that I came across recently, which is pertinent to the point I'm trying to get across to you. The story is simply entitled as Rose. It's a story of a 87-year-old grandmother whose name was Rose, who joined college to complete a college degree at the age of 87. About 6 decades after she was forced to abandon her studies due to some unavoidable circumstances. The story is told by one of her fellow students in her class, and it begins on the first day of the first term, in which an old lady ambles up to this young man and simply says, "I'm Rose, and I'm 87 years old." He then was very amused by her gait and her demeanor, and in a jocular way asked her why she had joined the college at such a young age, such an innocent age, and she jokingly said that she had come to college at this very young age to marry a rich man, have a couple of children, retire and travel the world. But then he asked her in all seriousness the same question, as he was curious to know what motivated her in taking up this challenge of a college degree at the age of 87. She told him that she always dreamt of having a college education. And though she started a college education when she was in her teens and in her early 20s, she had to abandon it because both her parents unfortunately passed away in a horrific accident. And she was responsible for the upbringing of her 3 siblings. And after all these many years, everybody settled, including her own family. And she said, "Why not? I go and then complete my college education." The story goes on to say how the author of this story and Rose go on to become good friends. For the next 3 months, they would leave class together. She would non-stop be talking, sharing her wisdom and her experiences with him. Over the course of the year, Rose became something of a campus icon. She made friends easily. She dressed up in clothes which were very retro, unlike the other students, and enjoyed the attention that she got from her fellow students. She was simply living it up. At the end of the semester, she was an icon among all the students, to the extent that the college authorities invited her to be the guest of honor at their annual prize distribution function, though she was still a student in that same institution at that point in time. The story goes on to say that that evening, the speech that she effortlessly gave in her inimitable style was one that the audience would never forget for its simplicity and its wisdom. And the story goes on and says that as she stepped forward onto the podium nervously to give her speech, her carried text of notes fell down. And she was grappling to find those notes, and the pages were in disarray. She got up in a chuckle and told the audience that she will not be able to put these papers together, and therefore she said, "I'll forget my written text and instead speak about my life's experiences. As the audience laughed, she cleared her throat and spoke about her life, full of anecdotes, full of experiences, both good and bad, that she faced in life and how she navigated them. She, towards the end, spoke about the secret of staying young, being successful, and being happy. And she said that, number one, you have to laugh and find humor in your life every day. Number two, she said that you've got to have a dream. When you stop dreaming, your life becomes worthless. And she further went on to say that there's a huge difference between growing older and growing up. You could have a teenager, 18 years old, lying in bed for one full year and doing nothing productive, and he would be 19 the next year. That doesn't take any talent or ability. The idea is to grow up and find opportunities in change. And finally, she said, have no regrets in life. To the delight of the jam-packed audience, she very sweetly ended her speech by literally singing a few verses from the song entitled The Rose, and ended by challenging each student to study the lyrics of that song and try to live them out in their daily lives. At the end of the year, Rose completed her degree like all her batchmates that year. But 1 week, unfortunately, after her graduation, Rose died peacefully in her sleep. Over 2,000 college students attended a funeral in tribute to the inspirational woman who taught them to live by example, that it is never too late to become possibly who you can be in life. And it is okay to pursue your dreams and ambitions in life, irrespective of how old you are and how insurmountable be the challenges. I think it will be appropriate in the scheme of things if I share with you a few lines of the song Rose that the grandmother Rose sang, and is so pertinent to the story that I'm trying to get across to you. And I quote, these are a few verses. It begins by saying, it is a heart afraid of breaking that never learns to dance. It's a dream afraid of waking that never takes the chance. It is the one who won't be taking who cannot seem to give. And it's a soul afraid of dying that never learns to live. So when the night has been lonely and the road has been too long, and you think that love is only for the lucky and the strong, just remember, in the winter, far beneath the bitter snows, lies the seed that with the sun's love in the spring becomes the rose. Unquote. And therefore, on the auspices of this, our 75th Republic Day, may God in His infinite wisdom and mercy grant you and me the strength and the conviction to serve as role models and beacons of hope to those we are associated with this, in the hope that our children and thereafter our children's children might lead better lives. God bless this great country and this great institution of ours.